Hi creators, welcome back to another episode. This one is extra special. We have on Sam, who is not only a fantastic copywriter and adventurer, she is also a nomad. And this episode is so juicy, and Marie was telling me as she was editing it, she was like, holy smokes, this might be one of the best episodes. So if you are in a place to take some notes, honestly, do it. And I can't wait to get into it. So, welcome, Sam.
Hey, I'm Sam. I'm a nomad and a copywriter. I run Nomad Copy Agency, and I feel like that's pretty stinking self-explanatory.
Amazing. There nothing else. That's it, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
TED Talk. Bye. No, that's so great. I always love when I can find people who are in my very niche corner of the internet, like writing things and being all over the place while doing it. In a small niche, even though it feels like there are so many people doing that, but it's always so great to connect people with that. And I found you via Threads, which, by the way, to everybody listening, I'm new to Threads, but I'm having so much fun because it feels like Twitter of 2016.
It does. It's the water cooler of entrepreneurship. It really is. It's where you're just like, oh my gosh, like what brand of this are you buying? And also go listen to my podcast.
No, that is the perfect way to explain that, actually. That is so good. I literally am having my VA. I met with him last week and I said, I need you to go and research how people are using Threads. I said, are we just screaming into the void? What are we doing? So he just sent me over a PDF of like, here's my research on Threads, which I have to look into. And I think I want to do a whole episode about, but I'd be interested to see if you found any like Threads strategies people are using. Cause I know there are some people who are like, this is my main source of where I get money for my digital products or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of
feel
like
like
water cooler.
It's the part where you get to be yourself on the internet. Like LinkedIn. Do you remember that meme trend from like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago? It was definitely pre-COVID, but it was like me on LinkedIn, me on Twitter, me on Facebook, me on Instagram.
Yes.
So Instagram was like beautiful. And then LinkedIn is like what I learned from my trip to the Alps. And then, Threads or Twitter was, whatever it was. But I think Threads is like, if we were to redo that trend, Threads is the personality hire of the online space. And then LinkedIn is like the OBM, the data, the operations team of the online space. Instagram is the marketing department. Like, I think there's something to be said there. And then Threads is just the like Gen Z chick who like didn't show up to work because the vibes were off. Like
That's so funny.
That's Threads to me.
Okay.
I cannot take it seriously, but people are getting clients and you're getting podcast guests. So there's something to be said for it.
I know.
Like the validity of just bringing your whole self to the workspace that we've created for ourselves.
Right. I have like a baby followers on Threads or something, like maybe not even 200 people. And I posted something that was like, I'm using HoneyBook right now. Tell me like what CRMs people are using. And like 30 people responded. I was like, wow, Instagram could never. So it's really, I'm having a great time so far, actually.
I'm a writer. You're a writer. So there's something to be said for this just words space. Like if you're posting pictures and stuff, people don't interact with it as much over there, which is wild because over the last several years, 10 years really, we went from like Facebook posts being the standard to then Instagram posts being the standard to then you have to be posting a video to get literally more than 5 likes on anything. And now we've like come back full circle of just back to the words.
Yeah.
Again.
I mean, whenever there's a movement, there will be an anti-movement. So here we are, just words.
Yeah.
It's so exciting though. I kind of post my most insane thought. I am screaming into the void like it's 2016 right now until I figure out a better way, but it's okay because I'm having fun. And I refuse to download it on my phone because I know that I will spend too much time on it. So it's purely a desktop.
I love that for you. It is probably, I'd have to look at my screen time. It's probably my most scrolled, doom scrolled app, but it's also largely positive over there.
Okay, someone else said this. I was talking to yesterday about Threads. She was like, I'm loving it because everyone's just like talking about all their wins and how they're having great times. I'm like, yeah.
And even the micro wins. It's not like LinkedIn where it's like, I have finally accepted the Nobel Peace Prize. It's like, you guys, my mailing list hit 100 today, and I've been
Yeah.
working at this for the last 3 months. Like, I can't believe 100 people want to hear me.
Yeah, I
And
know. It's
it's
really
fun. It's
sweet.
cool.
It's really it is the water cooler of entrepreneurship. I love that. That's so funny. Okay, well, I want to talk about more words with you, but I want to also talk about you are the top tier, I will say, the queen of the sales copy, and I want to talk about it. I think what would help get us into this conversation is some mistakes you are seeing, like when you go and visit somebody's sales page or try and read their sales copy, whether that's on social or there's whatever, their sales page on their website. What are things that you, when you're reading through, you're like, oops, that's a red flag or that's like a mistake. I wouldn't do that. What are some of the we shouldn't be doing those things?
So there's a few things here. One, too many words, which is a wild thing to say for somebody in my industry, but it comes down to potency over longevity. You don't need to tell everybody about like your grandma's neighbor's dog and how that impacted you back in 2006. Like, absolutely not relevant. The only thing that should be on anything that's selling is exactly what your people need to know in order to buy. That doesn't mean we can't tell stories. It doesn't mean that we can't add in a bit of an about section. It's just like, I so often look at a sales page and I start to scroll and I see my little scroller bar on my desktop be like a little tiny Morse code dot. And I'm like, oh my God, what could you possibly have put on this page that required 100 scrolls? Like, I think about this, I own a home. My mortgage document, I printed it off because I signed it remotely, was 111 pages printed. If I'm scrolling for a $200 product or like a $2,000 service or something online and it's just as long as my mortgage document, then there's way too much info on that page. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is negativity. And it comes in two forms. One, problem sections that just keep repeating themselves. It's like those Zoloft commercials from the 90s or early 2000s of like, do you wake up feeling tired? Is there a cloud over your head? You just can't escape it. Is everything awful? Do you wish that you knew things? Like, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's like, oh my God, we're marrying the concept of what you're selling to their problem and not to their solution. The second way that we do that is so, like, for problems, is not just droning about problems, but accidentally selling the problem and not the solution. So we'll say something like, get this transformation in 60 days without the overwhelm. And there's always this like, like without the overwhelm, no fluff, no worries. No, no, no. It's like, but just tell me what it is, not what it's not. So that we're only speaking to like, our brains don't comprehend negative. So when we are promising somebody a transformation and then throw an anti-transformation in there, our brains just get confused and it absolutely murders the sale.
Wow. Didn't even think about that because I think when you look up information or try and learn about sales page copy, it's like, yeah, hit them where it hurts. Tell them what's, remind them why they might have stumbled across this page to begin with. But that's really interesting. We don't want to remind them too much, I guess, or, tell them too much about yeah, it's not relevant. It's not super relevant to
Mm-hmm.
like what you're doing. That makes me think nobody really cares about the like how you're delivering a service. And I think people are, especially the creators of that service, if they didn't outsource the writing of their sales page, they're really prone to be like, here's what you will get. Here's how my service works, or here's how this course will do, blah, blah, blah. But like
Mm-hmm.
people don't really care about the how and they just like want the transformation. Is that true?
Yes, and like we need to tell them both, right? Because so for the most part, yes, we want to tell them the transformation and what's going to happen and how they're going to be like, let's say that it's a tour company. So the service is that they're putting together an incredible tour to the Balkans, right? So you're going to walk away with like your new travel besties because this is for solo travelers to all travel together in a group and it's going to be amazing and you're never going to feel lonely. So you still have to say like, but we're organizing the tour for you. But you also have to sell this transformation of, okay, but this is a safe and supportive place for me. So we're selling to people's emotional needs. We're selling that it's all done for you. So we're selling to their like the headspace that they're freeing up because they only get 3 weeks of vacation. If they're going to fly all the way to Hungary, they want a little support here. So we're selling the why, but we're still saying we're going to organize a trip for you with other people. Like, so
Mhm.
we still have to say the what and the how we're going to get you there. But ultimately, that's the difference between like an old folks bus tour and like a high activity tour that's made for young people who want to go hiking.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we
Mhm.
still need to know what you're getting.
Mhm. Okay, I love that. Very interesting. Okay. My question, this is actually a copywriting question that I have never, I should post this on Threads actually, but I often see, whenever I see a piece of any written copy and it's like, you get ice cream, cake, and more, I always think that's so bad. Like, I never think it's great practice to be like, and more. Like, I don't know. Someone said this to me years and years and years ago, and it will not leave my brain about like, why, like, it's just like bad writing practice. Will you tell me I'm not crazy?
Okay. Yes. This is why I love copy, because everything is just yes and, because it's like, well, this, but that, because copy is so much a science of like understanding the psychology, but also the art of like putting it in such a way that people understand and want to interact with it. So this is a concept called open loop marketing. And if you, did you know, fun fact, not everybody can see things in their mind's eye, but if you can see things in your mind's eye, imagine a circle that doesn't quite connect. Our brains want to connect that spot, and we will fill in the gaps of what that means. So, for example, I was watching this show Boots on Netflix last night, and this woman said, like, so the show premise of the show is that a bunch of people join the Marines, and this mom is back home, and she goes to this support group for moms, and she said, like, he joined and now he's gone. And some of the people in that room filled in that story with he's gone forever. And
Yeah.
some people in that room were like, oh, it's so hard when your kid flees the nest. So our brains need to tell that story. So when people are saying like cookies, ice cream, cake, and more, it's a level of vague that does leave that opportunity for people to fill in like, oh, there's probably going to be a bouncy house for sure. Right? Like they're gonna be like, I can see myself there. But what that is they are putting themselves into that situation. So that's the kind of storytelling and open loop storytelling that makes people, when we tell our own stories, it lights up the same parts of the brain that make emotional decisions. And 95% of decisions are emotional. We just rationalize them later. So, as a concept, the and more is correct. However, I agree with you. I think it's lazy. So then it's like, well, what can you do? It's like, be
Be
specific.
better, do better.
Be specific. So if you're saying like, we're gonna like have ice cream, cake, and more, it's like, say like, and other gluten-free sweet treats, something like that. Like just be specific in that space so that also people aren't telling them stories and there's no room for disappointment in the end either.
Mm. I told you this was going to be a really good episode. And speaking of lazy copywriting, I have been waiting to share this with you guys, and I don't know why I've been waiting, but I have this picture on my phone that I took the other day, the beginning of this month, when I was on a plane. It was Delta, okay? And I got a ginger ale, and the cup they served me in was cardboard, and cool. I don't care. Amazing. I care about sustainability, but that's not the point of this. The cup says, learn more about our journey to minimize single-use plastics at delta.com/sustainability. So I took a photo of this because I thought, there's no fucking way that Delta Airlines let this be printed on their cups. Learn more. Nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to learn more. That's the last thing we want to do, and a terrible call to action. I was sitting there on the plane and I was like, oh my God, should we like rewrite this now? I haven't. I should, and I should have before I started recording this. But learn more. I'm like, this is the product of groupthink, which, if you are not familiar with that communication theory or phenomenon, let me enlighten you into something I'm nerdy about. Groupthink is when you have a group of people who agree about something because everybody is agreeing about it. Okay, it's kind of like when here's like a low level, not dramatic experience, but the way that I learned it is like there's some crazy submarine experiment that went like horribly, catastrophically wrong, and it was the result of groupthink. But here's not such a dramatic example of that. If you and your friends are deciding where to go to dinner, and there's like five of you, and you're like, oh, okay, great, let's go to this Chinese place, and you're like, yeah, but I really like want Thai. But okay, like that's fine. Someone else is like, let's get pizza. But three people are like, let's get Chinese. What's gonna happen? You're gonna get Chinese. And it turns out that unfortunately, maybe you got sick or something. Maybe you all got sick from the Chinese food or something. And it's like, oh shoot, maybe we should have gotten Thai. Like that's a result of groupthink. Everybody just agreeing because it keeps the peace, it keeps the harmony. And I believe that's what Delta Airlines was doing in their copywriting, or they let the intern do it, and it's okay. That's just a shame. So I had to share that with you, and I hope you never ever use a CTA. Learn more because nobody wants to learn more. Promise. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for scratching that like 7-year itch that I could have just fucking Googled.
Yeah.
I never thought of how I could just Google that.
But, I mean, would you have Googled open loop marketing? No, and that's why you
No,
have me.
I wouldn't. Exactly. Okay, speaking of this, because you know how to hack our brains, I am so interested in the sales psychology in all of that writing to get people to do things crazy. Um, so as our resident master manipulator, what if someone is like, I am a creator and I want to use more sales psychology in my content, how should I even start this process?
Yeah, so a few things. One, everybody's doing it. Hype yourself up. Use testimonials, other people who are having a great time. Like that's a great place to start is using other people's language, especially if you're feeling self-conscious or uncomfortable. You don't have to say, "Hey, I'm great." You can be like, "These other people think I'm great." And then that social proof is going to one, make it a little bit easier for you to foray into talking about yourself, selling your service or your product. And it's also going to hack the brains of other people where they're going to be like, oh, I won't be the first person to buy this. It's a less of a perceived risk for them to purchase from you because other people have done it and had a good time.
Oh, so you want to talk about having a good time? Well, that's exactly what we're doing in the Travel Creator Business Plan. I know, boring ass name because we are doing the boring ass things that are actually going to take you from creator to being a business owner. But like Sam said, don't listen to me. Don't take it from me. You can take it from Catherine, who said that this is the first membership she has purchased that she hasn't forgotten about in 5 days and that she is actually engaged with. And I take that as a massive compliment. People buy shit on the internet all the time that they forget about. And especially when it's the price of a checked bag, it could be easy to fall away and let it go to the wayside, especially because it's so packed with value. And we are getting down to the boring shit that it's going to transform you from just creating content to creating content and making money from building a business. So thank you, Catherine, for being a member. And if you too want to go from creator to business owner and have way much fun and have so much fun in the process, like silly, goofy fun, then this is the place for you. We have 10 people, 10 creators doing this right now. And if you want to be number 11, I would get on it because by the time I'm recording this, we'll already have number 11. So maybe if you want to be number 15. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Marie, cut me off. Cut me off. In the link below, we are building businesses and not just more influencers and content creators. And I will see you in there.
So that's a great place to start. The other one is just this big mindset thing of like, if what you're doing for people is good, then you are doing them a disservice by not sharing it with them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I tell that to people who are like, I don't want to put my face on camera. I'm like, shut up and talk about what you do because it's good.
And that's the biggest trust indicator is like your face.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I have a million questions about this, but I don't know what they are because I'm interested in all of it. Maybe what will get us there I want to know some like, where should somebody go if they want to learn about sales psychology? Any like resources, books, podcasts that you're like, I love listening to this. I love learning from this. Please share.
Yeah, 2 of them, especially from a writing perspective. Well, one of them's more from a writing perspective, the other one's not. So writing, I would read Storybrand by, oh my gosh, is it Donald Miller or yeah, Donald Miller. Storybrand, it's like
Yeah.
basically the concept is that there is a hero and a guide in every story, and that your job as the person selling something is that you're a guide. You need to center your person as the hero. So you are not trying to make the sale, they are trying to have a transformation that happens as a result of the sale. So just you're telling the same story, but with the focus on the customer versus on you. So that one, absolutely, when it comes to writing, read Storybrand. The other one is Identity Marketing by Veronica Romney. She published this book last year. She's a friend of mine, and her whole concept is that when you shift the concept from buy this to be this, you shift people's entire identity. So because 95% of purchases are emotional that get rationalized later, I'm repeating myself because it's true and it's facts, people identify with what they purchase. So, for example, if you go buy Lululemon leggings, you could buy 10 pairs of leggings at Costco for the cost of 1 pair of leggings at Lululemon. But you're buying this concept, this identity, this status that comes with it. Same thing with people who create like cult followings around their own personal brands. Look at Beyonce and the Beehive. Look at Taylor Swift and Swifties. Like Taylor Swift's new album, you can buy it in like, it's something ridiculous. It's like 26 different formats between like different types of vinyl in the like super duper cover with like glitter on it. And it's like, it's all the same songs. There's just like 20 different ways to buy all of them. And it's like, but a real Swiftie would have it all. And they create these like museums in their house about it. Or like Harley Davidson has an identity based following. So it's like creating, that's what I love about this book is you don't have to start a cult. You just have to understand some of the concepts that go into creating a brand that people identify with so much that they say, so like for me, it would be as simple as creating a network of people who say, oh, my copywriter says blank. That they're just like looking to me for that kind of advice in my field. Or my grandparents used to travel with, it was called Elder Hostel. Now it's called Road Scholar. And like, I don't think ever in their 4 dozen countries that they've been to did they travel with a different tour company. Like that was just the company that they traveled with because that's how they identified, is because it's for smart older individuals who want to travel. And they're just like, yep, that's me. That's what I do.
One of the reasons I love this point so much is because when you are selling something, you're not just selling the features and benefits, you want to sell the transformation. But Sam is taking this a step farther in my brain and say, don't just sell the transformation of what people will feel and experience by using your product, but sell who they are. Sell them an identity. You are a travel creator who is made for more. That's why you belong in the travel creator business plan. You are a travel creator who you are not like the rest of the creators. You are someone who knows that creating content is not the only answer. That's why you are a great fit for the travel creator business plan. See how we're kind of talking about the identity of a creator or a person who should be in this product or in this service rather than just talking about here's what you're going to get out of it, or even worse, here's exactly what's included in it.
Those 2 books, Storybrand and Identity Marketing by Veronica Romney.
Dang. Veronica has some hot tips for us. We will we will read that book.
Yeah, it's good. And they're both pretty quick reads.
A cult following. I love that. Man, I'm so obsessed with cults. Not that I want to be a part of one. I do think I can see myself.
I don't, but I do. But I don't.
Like I think I have those personality traits to fall into a cult, but thankfully haven't found myself there yet, at least that I know of.
This is Marie, Laura's podcast producer, and I hate to inform you, Laura, but you did join a cult. You started a podcast. That is a cult. You should come join us. Start a podcast, y'all. 2026, let's go. Join the cult.
Okay, I kind of want to talk more about that. Like, how can we use words and copy to build our personal brand, or to make sort of a cult following?
I have a million ways I can take this. So basically, people who have purchased from you are 67% more likely to purchase from you again in the future for something that's low ticket. But it also goes for things that are high ticket. For example, think about the adults in your life who have lived, I say adults like I'm not in my 30s, but like the people who have like lived in the same place for their whole lives. Like my grandma bought her car from the same car dealership. I would call that very high ticket since I've been alive. And then my mom went and bought her cars from the same Honda dealership. And I bought my first car, which was a Honda, from that Honda dealership.
Right.
So there's
Okay.
understanding that people who have buy from you once are more likely to buy from you again. So you have to nurture the heck out of people who have already purchased from you.
Yeah.
Which means offering things like discounts, giving specials. If you're sending a physical product, throwing a handwritten note in a box can go so far. Like when I buy things from Etsy and I see it was like a real person on the other end, I'm like, oh.
It makes me like emotional. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot spend any more money somewhere else because this is a real human who made me this thing and like take my money.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the feel good factor. So you want to nurture the people who have already purchased from you, whether it's their first purchase or a future purchase. There's other things. This is so wild and niche, but my garage door went out last summer. Like the clicker stopped working. And so I was up near the box trying to like push buttons and like I'm on YouTube trying to figure it out. And I look over and stapled into the wood beam next to the machine for the garage door is the business card for the guy who installed it. And I called him and he was like, "Yup, I got you." And he came over. So it's also nurturing people in a way that you're just staying top of mind when it makes sense. Also, I get my oil changed at the same place all the time. The oil change place, like they just know when I'm about to need another oil change. Like the data behind their systems is like, oh, it's been 6 months. She should probably not ruin her car, and like sends me a coupon to come get my oil changed. So one, nurture the people that you already have because they are more likely to buy from you again. I'm giving such long-winded answers. Oh
No, this is so good. This is not feels like the podcast. It's not about me. This is just a vehicle for you.
Okay. And then the second thing is understanding that their goal is not to buy something. Nobody wakes up in the morning saying, I am so stoked to spend $1,000. All I want right now is to download a PDF. That's not what they want. They want the checklist for doing your bookkeeping that is in that PDF. So they know they're downloading a PDF. They're not stupid. Like they know they're getting a PDF, but it's click here, like make my bookkeeping easier. Or if it's something that's like a coaching program or something, it's like become a better traveler. So it's not buy now, it's become. So instead of buying, you're becoming. And you are starting something. You're taking the first step. It's this like, yes, buy is a verb, and we always want to have verbs on our call to actions. But when we understand that people's goal doesn't stop at the sale, your goal is to make the sale. Their goal is to receive what happens on the other end of the sale. So that's what we're writing towards.
That's so good. That's so true. Okay. One other thing I think you'll have really good advice on is what people should say in a welcome email. I just thought of this as we were talking of like, okay, you did the hard, well, it's a little difficult, I guess, can be. Like you cut through the noise and somebody is interested in either they found the direct link to sign up to your email list or through a freebie, whatever. But they're here now and we need to tell them they've arrived. So what should we say to them so that one, they do come back or like they want to open more future emails, but is there anything that we should stay away from or lean into for a first welcome email?
Sell to them.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, but the people who are going to help you grow that bigger, better community and business you are striving for are the people who are already in your community. How can you offer those who have already purchased from you even more benefits, insight, touch points that they might not know that they need, or maybe you can offer them something extra, etc. One really cool thing that I saw a creator on Threads do is instead of offering free lead magnets, he is now offering really, really low ticket lead magnets because, as Sam said, it's almost 70% easier to sell something to someone who has already purchased from you before. So his idea is thinking, okay, if I can sell someone this $5 lead magnet and I throw them on my email list, then they're already primed to purchase from me, and it becomes easier to purchase from someone or something that we already know, love, and trust, similar to like why we have favorite coffee shops or why we have favorite brands and anything like that. And I thought that was a really interesting idea and viewpoint of like, okay, you're kind of cutting out that middle work of giving people a free lead magnet to then sell to them on email. Does that mean we should all abandon our free lead magnets? Absolutely not, because we know that they work. Millions of business owners and entrepreneurs do this, from small solopreneurs to mega businesses give away something of value for free that then puts you in their funnel to purchase something larger or again from them. So just a little food for thought for you there if you are a creator who already has something to sell and you want to get a hot list of people who are primed to buy from you again.
Sell to them. Sell to them.
Because
I'm
they're
so
excited, because
serious.
they're already like, oh my God, here I am.
It's top of mind. So if
Yeah.
it's March, I'm going to use this bookkeeping example again. If it's
Okay.
March and I'm doing my bookkeeping for the entire year because I've neglected it and not done my homework every first of the month, like I say I'm going to, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know what goes into this. And I'm Googling like
How
bookkeeping
to
checklist
do
for
taxes.
entrepreneurs, like digital nomads who are based out of wherever, right? Like if I'm Googling that and then I get this checklist and I'm just like, I don't know where in the to find any of this
Yeah.
information, then if you're not positioning a call to like jump on a 60-minute ask me anything, I will help you find the information that you need for this checklist,
Done.
then you're
Yeah.
leaving me hanging. So again, you're doing me a disservice. And also, I'm thinking about it right now. I am 11 p.m. in my living room, backlit by a screen, frustrated. And you're
Right.
telling me that for $250, you'll sit down with me 3 days from now and make it easier and I can just go to bed? Great.
Done.
Like, sign me
Yeah.
up. Sign me up. So I say that we sell in the first email because your free thing is accomplishing, it's telling them what to do. Your paid thing tells them how to do it. Offer them to do it.
Mhm.
Make it, at least make it available. Also, your first email is going to be opened at about an 85 to 90% rate, which I think is absurdly low. Like, what are people doing when they're putting their email addresses in and then not opening an email? I don't know. I think
Me.
it's silly. But like data shows that only 85 to 90% of people are going to open that first email, and it's going to go down by 50% for every email thereafter. So you are in business to make money. And if you're not positioning the things that make you money in the first email, you're going from 90% of people knowing how they can pay you to 80% of people knowing how they can pay you to
Yep.
70% of people knowing how they can pay you. And that's where we end up accidentally filling our lists with a bunch of people who are just hanging out for free or not opening your emails, is because somebody told us somewhere along the line that you should provide value in every email, which made you think that you just needed to tell them stuff versus give them the opportunity to pay you to tell them stuff.
Yep.
So I think we should sell in our first emails.
That makes so much sense because the lead magnet has already satisfied them. Like it's theoretically solving a problem that they already were on the hunt for. So it's like, okay, let's make this even easier. That's so good. That's so good. Now that I think about it, because this just made me kind of realize I have lead magnets. However, I also have a place on my website where someone could just join my weekly newsletter. And I'm like, now, should I have? Well, really, I should. I'm answering my own question of like, I should make sure the people who sign up through my website are getting like a different welcome email than the people going into this sequence, which I guess is happening. But just like for people listening out loud, when you have a lead magnet, you should then set up the email sequences that lead them through to whatever final thing you want them to purchase or do with their money after they get the free lead magnet. So that makes me think you can kind of play around with how people are subscribing without getting a lead magnet. And now I'm like, is that just a bad idea just to have
No,
sign up?
it's not a bad idea.
think?
There's a couple of things, and it kind of comes down to tech. If you're on ActiveCampaign or Kit, it's super easy to just have smart fields where you can say in that first email, hey, you just want to ask to download this. Inserts it here, but it's dynamic so that depending on what they downloaded, and then you say, and your next step is this. And then they just all end up in the same welcome sequence
Right.
because ultimately it's less about what they downloaded and more about where you want them to go.
Yeah.
Unless what they downloaded, there's always going to be an exception, right? If it's a 5-day challenge, you're going to want those 5 days of emails to like make sense.
Make sure they go there.
The other thing is going back to that open loop marketing, people love finishing checklists. Like, I don't know about you, but I write a checklist almost every day. It's just sitting here on my little piece
Yeah.
of paper next to my desk.
Oh, yeah.
And I will add things throughout the day. So even though the 3 things that were on there at the beginning of my day, if I get those checked off, even if I don't finish what I added throughout the day, I feel like I wasn't successful that day.
Yeah.
So even if it's one thing on a list of that becomes like, say, 10. So in
Right.
that first email, what you can do, especially if you can use conditional, if you can like change out the sections, you can give them a list. So 1, download your thing here. Step 2, make sure that you sign up for your free intro call here, or like your implementation call, so that you take this checklist and like we'll go through it step by step to make sure nothing's missing. And that's basically a sales call for you, or whatever that next step is. Or I see people a lot of times, step 1, download the thing. Step 2, follow me on Instagram here. Whatever that step 2 is, it just gives them that like second touch point to stay in your world. And people are far more likely to do that rather than on email 3 where you say, hey, you should follow me on Instagram, because they've like forgotten who you are at that point.
Yeah. Okay. It's really interesting. Okay. Yay. I love email stuff, but now you have me thinking about everything. Okay.
So these things are translatable though, because that welcome email, when somebody downloads your thing and they get sent to a thank you page, you can also put that same text on the thank you page where it's like, thing 1, check your email. Thing 2,
Yeah.
sign up for a call, follow me on Instagram, fill out this survey to get 50% off of a thing, however you want to do it. But giving them a list that they haven't finished is so compelling.
Oh my God. I love telling people what to do. That's great. I can do that. I love that. Okay. I'm moving us back to sales copy for a second. What sales copy pages should always have? You posted a reel about this recently, but tell us in more than 90 seconds, things they should always have.
Okay, cool. I talk about this a lot, so hopefully it's the right one. But basically you're just telling them exactly what they need to know. Kind of like what we said at the beginning of our conversation is like, why are some pages so stinking long? So sure, you need to cut things out, but what do they actually need? If it's a free thing, I argue that you need what's included on a pop-up. It doesn't even need to be a scroll. If you have an opt-in page for a free thing, typically doesn't need to be that long. People need to know 3 things, and you can tell them above the fold, which is the first scroll of any page. You can tell them 3 things: what it is, why they should want it, and how to get it. How to get it is always going to be that call to action button. So tell them what it is and why they should want it. What it is: join the mastermind. Join the 6-month mastermind of like full-time traveling women entrepreneurs. Why they should want it: because your challenges are unique and these women will coach you through how to run a 7-figure business from anywhere in the world. The call to action being, join us here, sign up here, become a 7-figure digital nomad, whatever. See, again, using that becoming language on the call to action. So that's going to be basically a summary of the entire sales page. So something like what I just said, a mastermind is probably going to be a high ticket thing. So there's going to be more to it. If that were a free thing, telling them what it is, why they should want it, and how to get it, you can do that. And it can be a pop-up. It can be a section on your homepage. It can be its own opt-in page. So that's to say, only tell people what they need to know to be able to get it. The best way to know what people need to know to want to buy from you is to ask them.
Yes.
So before you ever start writing, go survey your audience. Just go ask people. I have an entire podcast on my podcast about this, or an entire episode on my podcast about this. But just go ask your people, especially past clients, like, what made you say yes to this? What you can, like, give your people homework. People love helping people. Like, hey, Laura, can you take 10 minutes to go look at my sales page and fill out this form really quickly? It's that easy. Especially if people love working with you. Like, what on this sales page made you say yes? What do you feel best reflects the service that I just provided? Is there anything on here that you think detracts from the message based on what you received? And people will tell you. And if you don't have clients yet, then it's surveying your audience about, like, if I were to create something like this, what would you want to see?
You know how there's that saying that, like, give the people what they want? Okay, well, that applies to your content and your business as well. And the easiest way to figure out what your people want is to ask them. Ask them on polls, ask them on DMs, on story replies and emails. Reach out to people and say, I don't have anything to sell you. I'm trying to learn more about what you need. So would you mind hopping on a conversation with me for 10 minutes, or voice message back and forth with me so I can understand the best way to serve you? That's what I would recommend doing. It's a great and easy way to do market research that will make sure that you're not just guessing of what your people need, but actually making something that they do need and will buy. Yeah. I used to ask them, like, hi. I would, like, slip into DMs of people who theoretically you might think would never respond. I'm like, hi, I don't have anything to sell you. Tell me your opinion. And they're like, I would love nothing more than to rant to you. I'm like, great. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. And I don't use AI to write my copy for a lot of reasons. But AI is a really great tool when you have that client feedback to grab the transcripts, plug it into AI, and be like, what do you see from this? Because sometimes you're hearing something completely different from what they're actually saying. And it can pull together, like, here's 3 main concepts that you should use to sell. Like, these will be your 3 messaging points. And then you can write from that point. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend that anybody start writing a sales page until you know what your clients need to hear to be able to buy from you, so that you can just put that on the sales page.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Otherwise, you're just wasting time for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you have a podcast, so we can hear more from this. Okay, tell us the name of your podcast and what I'm going to hear over there.
Yeah, it's called Copy And. It's a marketing podcast for entrepreneurs. It's called Copy And because copy is one major part of your marketing, but it's not the only part of your marketing.
I say this all the time. Okay, yes. God.
Copy and content, copy and sales psychology, copy and design, copy and advertising, copy
and more
parts. Yes, copy and more. Yeah, that's the podcast. It's everywhere that podcasts typically are, and I'll make sure that you have the link to pop it into the show notes.
Okay, amazing. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to have you back to talk more about sales psychology when I wrap my head around more specific questions I might have, because I think this is just something people don't go and study but think that they know. At least that's my interpretation of it. But is there anything else around that topic that you're like, I need them to know this about sales psychology, and writing with using sales psychology, that you are like, I need to get this off my chest and I will feel at peace? Or I want people to know this?
There's so much, and I could talk about it forever, which is kind of why I started my podcast, because it lasts longer than Instagram stories where I just rant about random shit. So
Right. I understand.
But yeah, no, I want people to be able to put it into practice is the biggest thing. So I think it comes down to, like, just go try it. And what absolutely strips us away from our ability to practice is leaning too heavily on AI. So what I really encourage people to do is continue using your brain cells. Think about what your people need. Don't just immediately go to chat and be like, what goes on a sales page? Because what goes on a sales page for a used Honda in Iowa is very different from what goes on a sales page for a travel company running educational tours for old folks, right? Like, it's 2 very different things. So don't give away your power to AI. Like, think about what your people need. Continue talking to your people. No, that's not scalable. You need to just go talk to your people and listen to the words that they're saying, and then use AI to do what I said of, like, synthesizing information with you and reflecting things back to you. But The other big thing with like sales psych and AI is that AI writes in these like loops. So you know how I said like do the thing without the overwhelm. It's going to take you on this high of like do the thing, boom, without the overwhelm. And it's going to continue to have you ride this like loopy, awful wave throughout a sales page where it's actually going to be diminishing the excitement and your authority throughout the page as it writes it. So it's something to just be cognizant of, that if you are leaning on AI to look at things, make sure that it's not taking that away from you
Yeah.
as you and it co-write things together.
Yeah. Holy smokes. What's your response when people tell you AI is taking over your job? Because I have a response that I'll save for when I edit this podcast, but tell me.
um no, it's not. It's absolutely not. If you look at these image generators, and you see the ones that have like three elbows on an arm, it's like that's what it's doing to your copy. You just don't know it because you don't have the same eye for it that I have. I had a lot of people get rid of copywriters, see their sales plummet, and then go back to their copywriters.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's actually so awesome because now we can charge more money because people are like, great, I'm going to go away and try this thing. And then they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
One of the highest paid roles that's non-tech at OpenAI right now that I saw on LinkedIn is for a copywriter. They're paying their copywriter over $200,000 a year for the one that they're hiring. So like,
How ironic, huh?
couldn't chat just write it? Probably not.
That's wow. If you post it on Threads about it, I will repost that. Run it to Threads.
I'll go find the screenshot or go find the post.
Wow, holy smokes. That's super
Yeah.
interesting. They know, but they won't tell us. They won't
Mhm.
tell us that
Mhm.
it's needed. Oof, so interesting. You know what? Thank goodness for AI because that means copywriters and creatives can charge more money. So thank you, AI, for letting us raise our rates. Because if you haven't been able to tell, brands are using more AI content and it's pissing people off. People are over it. And now there's going to be brands who pride themselves on being human created or human made. And that just makes us all way more valuable. So I just got to say thank you because we will be raising our rates because now it's going to cost more money to have a human write something for you. Will AI get better? Of course it will. But will it be able to mimic a human? We don't know yet. And I'm sure it can get pretty close. But for now, it's allowing us to pay ourselves more money. So thank you, OpenAI, for being so smart that you're so dumb. Yeah, I love all of this stuff. It's super nerdy, super amazing. Okay. I have one more question for you that is not necessarily writing related, but is more business-esque. I'm obsessed with the back-end systems of things and how people are using certain tools. What are some of your favorite like tools you use in your business? That could be like software, websites, things like that.
Yeah. So the one that like more I talk about it, the more I'm like, oh my God, they must sponsor her, and they don't. I wish they did. Find me.
Keep
Is
emailing them.
Descript. Descript. I love Descript for podcast editing, and it does have AI features that are really, really robust, and I love that. The other one that I'm using in my business is Fathom. It's an AI note taker that lives in the back end of my Zoom calls. That's really helpful for me with client stuff because I can ask it, what did Laura say about her above the fold? And then it'll like take me to that part of the section and give me a summary and some ideas. So that's super helpful. Other tools I'm using, I mean, I would fall apart without Google Docs. I'm a writer. That's where I keep all of my client stuff, a lot of the communication with my assistant, all of that. So those are probably the three that I lean on the most right now.
Are you an Airtable person?
Lightly. I use it, I pay for it. Part of my membership, it relies heavily on Airtable, but I don't think I've found like the magic of Airtable that so many people have.
Me either. I can't shut up about Threads apparently, but I posted on Threads about like Airtable people. Tell me all the cool ways you're using it because I use HoneyBook as my CRM and I have for years, but I think it's just, I don't know, I've never found a love for it and I think it's a little bit clunky and it almost does too much for all that I need. And I asked Threads that, of course. And it gave me Airtable. They were like, you should do Airtable. And I was like, oh, I am actually already using Airtable for other things. So So now, again, my poor VA is Googling how to use Airtable as CRM.
I think the thing that a lot of people aren't talking about, and I hope somebody listens to this and is like, please, can I get you on a Zoom call and just show you how to use this damn app? Like, if somebody wants to do that, Laura and I will
Hear
welcome
us.
that. Let's have a group chat. But like, I think the secret that nobody's talking about is how well Airtable integrates with everything else.
Yeah.
So I've used it with Softer, which is like you kind of build your own app kind of thing with Softer. It integrates really well there. It integrates really well with, what else am I using it for? Oh, different forms apps and different things. Like it can be embedded. You can embed the forms really easily. So I think
That's good.
maybe that's the missing piece, is just like I don't have super robust systems in my business. I'm a service provider and I have a membership. Like I do
Yeah.
two things. So because I don't have complex funnels. I'm not
Right.
delivering a million different things to different people that I need to like bring all of the tiny pieces together. My VA and I can just kind of handle that with our brains right now. So maybe that's where we're missing it. But if somebody wants to come take two,
Please help
very-
us.
and
Save me.
we're good at the writing and not great at the tech.
Yeah, but like I love it and like I want to understand it, but I know it's just intimidating and it takes time, and migrating stuff over is really what I'm fearful of. That's the scariest part.
Yeah.
So I don't know, we'll just start all over.
Yeah, just start all over. I think, my big thing is I just don't want a million different tech tools, because I used to use
Exactly.
ClickUp and I was like, well, ClickUp
Can
is
do.
taking so much time. Like I feel like I'm putting tasks in just to check them off. But now that I have this podcast, I'm like, if I could do a really great workflow with Airtable, I'd probably
Right.
start using Airtable more robustly. But
Mhm.
different conversation for a different day.
No, for real. Yeah, if you figure out any of this, just do little voice messages and I'll compile it into an episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, amazing. Okay, well, you will have to come back because we have so many other things we can talk about. But where can people find you if they want to do more?
Yeah, we'll make sure that the spelling of my last name is in the show notes, as well as the podcast, which is Copy and you can find me on Instagram at nomad.copy and on LinkedIn at Samantha Burmeister. Again, that last name spelling will be in the show
Will be
notes.
provided, everybody. It will be provided. No guessing.
It'll be there. But no, I'm an open book and I am the only person in my DMs. So if anybody has any questions, just reach out, refer to the podcast. I'll know what
Such a
you're
good
talking about.
line. I'm the only person in my DMs. Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, no, I don't do many chat, and my assistant wouldn't want to be there anyway.
It's just for me.
Yeah.
Just for my eyes.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, amazing. Well, thank you for coming and sharing so much with us. I know there's so many to-dos. Somebody make a list from this episode. It could be me, but I don't think it will be. And make a checklist and go and do it. And then also Google how to use Airtable and send it in an email address. Also
Yes.
flow.
And go write a really lovely sales page.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Okay. I have officially recorded over 100 episodes of this show, and I have to say this is one of the most valuable, action-packed, note-taking packed episodes I think I've ever released. It's one where genuinely we need some sort of like document, note-taking, like summary of what the heck is going on from this episode, because it was so good. Marie even said as she's editing it, she was stopping to take notes. So thank you so much, Sam, for joining us. This will absolutely not be the last that you are hearing from her. And I want to thank you for listening to over 100 episodes of my voice. If you have been here from the beginning, I owe you a handwritten note and a sweet treat. So send me a DM on Instagram and let me know how long you've been listening to the show. But until then, happy creating, happy selling, and I will see you soon.